So you guys had your premiere last night?
We did.
How'd it go? Is everyone still recovering?
Yeah. It was a thrill. We hadn't seen it in front of an audience, so it was...
At all?
No,
Wow.
not ever. So it was amazing. Really warm response.
How about you guys?
Oh, gosh. Incredibly moving to see it. Yeah.
It was phenomenal. This is my favorite word for Cannes. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Everything that's happening is phenomenal.
I mean,
I'm stoked.
It is kind of a place where you get here and you're like, oh, this is like nowhere else I have ever been or exists anywhere else in the world. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So the origin story of this is you reading a New Yorker article that sticks with you, which I think happens to a lot of people. I mean, the New Yorker is a great magazine. There are stories in there that are really moving. At what point in your head did it turn into a film? And not only an idea for a film, but something that you really had to see through like you did with this?
Probably, I don't know that I thought it could be one after reading it. It was just the emotional gut response to it, but it stayed with me. I kept that copy of the New Yorker. I still have it in my desk back home, but it probably took years and years before I had some short films that got noticed, and then when I was thinking about what I might try to tackle or what could sort of sustain my interest for a long period of time, I returned to this, reread the piece, and then started the kind of digging process of how would I get rights. I would need to get to know everybody involved, and so that was the beginning.
Yeah. So do you always know that a feature was kind of on your horizon and you just kind of had to figure out what the story was that you were going to follow through?
Yeah. When I read it, I think I was in grad school, so I was just enjoying the piece, and was touched in a very deep place by it. And then, eventually I'd hope I'd get to make a feature.
Yeah, and this is your first feature, right?
That's right.
So for you guys as actors, I mean, you're coming in with someone. I mean, you meet him, and obviously he's smart and has great ideas. But what makes you say, all right, I'm going to put my trust in this guy that he knows how to make this feature film, and not an easy one. This is a complicated film in a lot of different ways. So, what were those meetings like for you all to meet with Reed and say, okay, I'm going to take part in this?
I think the story, to start with, it's very touching, and it's a real story. Second, I saw your short. You sent it to me. It was magnificent. I fell in love with it. And just the fact that later on he started to talk to me about the vision and how he wants to make it, and I got more and more into it. And the fact that he was shooting a film, Kodak. So I'm a big film geek, so that's also a yes for me. And honestly, choosing something that sticks with people, that leaves a print, that is a story to be told and to take on further with you in your career, that's something that you really want to have as an actor for me.
I had never read a script like this. I'd never seen a film like this. I never had the opportunity to play a character like this. I met with Reed, and we had a really incredible talk, and I knew something in our meeting was like destined for us. But to your point, it's so ambitious, and I hadn't seen any of his previous work. And after our meeting, I went home and I saw Interior, I saw DeKalb Elementary, and I think I called you immediately. I said, "Okay, yeah, let's do this."
Hey, you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah. Sorry if I was rude.
That's exactly what happened.
I was telling someone who wrote this beautiful piece how ambitious it was.
Well, as you can tell from the title of it, and anyone who hasn't seen it, it's about forgiveness and conversation, and really kind of the set piece of the entire movie is sort of the end, where you have just people talking in a room. And you could make this a movie about people talking in a room, but you do a full-scale war movie at the beginning of this, and you're shooting it on film and all of that stuff. Why was it, I mean, ambitious is the word that you use, but why was it so clear to you that you really needed to start with this huge, expansive way to open the story and then be able to zoom in on these people?
I mean, I guess there would be a version of this where it could be told in flashback, which to me lacks an urgency of, I want to feel I'm with them then, right then. And so also I wanted to embed with the family, the Rocky family first, and I wanted them to be our family of characters as an audience and to experience this tragedy from their side in addition to the Marines who we joined shortly thereafter. So it was wanting to, I had to dramatize the event for those scenes in rooms later to, I think, be felt, and was an opportunity to foreground these Iraqi characters and to avoid what didn't feel like the right approach for this in flashback.
Yeah. I mean, those scenes with the Iraqi family in the beginning that you're part of do what I love in so many movies where it's a culture that I don't know, but it feels specific. Like you're meeting this family and you're seeing them drilling a well and cooking food and taking care of a baby and so many specific things. And I wonder if you and your fellow actors kind of got the chance to fill that life in there in some ways and make it feel like such a real family.
It's funny you mentioned the whale thing. It's also one of the things that we actually started doing in Iraq after the water got cut off and electricity got cut off. So it's a really nice addition to the family scene and what actually happened there. It was great working with the cast. They're all amazing, and I am privileged to work with Hiam Abbas as my mom, and Tahsin as my brother. I mean, he's a friend of mine as well, so it's very nice to share this success with him. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And you have, I mean, how do you build that family dynamic then? When you have that, you have to believe these guys. Is that you guys getting time to work together? Is that you kind of putting them together in a certain way to make all of that come to life?
We did do rehearsals with the family together, but I will say it was our second day of shooting. We shot our first car scene, so it was the hottest day in Jordan yet that year. So it's like 100+ degrees, and we had this car that we couldn't use air conditioning in. So everybody and I'm in the trunk, and they're in the family.
You're like in the trunk?
I'm in the trunk of the car, looking at it on monitor with my DP. And then they're in the car. We all have ice packs on our laps because it's so hot.
God.
And then they, so in the car with the four of you, it was you, Tahsin, Hiam, and then Yara, who's not here. And they started singing songs together. And I don't remember what you were singing, but I remember it was very joyful. And I did think, okay, this was the first scene they'd had together. And I thought immediately, oh, the family dynamic has materialized.
Yeah.
That was very fun. Yeah.
Despite the heat and the ice packs.
Sing it off.
Yeah.
Just sing it off.
People think filmmaking is glamorous, and then I think one day on
Have
the set
ice packs on
will
your,
tell you
on
that.
your lap. Yeah.
So, Boyd, have you played a soldier before? This feels like something a lot of people go through at some point in their career, but this is...
No, not really. No,
Okay.
not to this extent, no.
So, I mean, you're building a different kind of family dynamic in those scenes with the soldiers. And I mean, I guess same question of like how you guys do that, how you get in that space with all those guys where it's not just it's not quite the same as a family bond, but it's something that you carry with you through the whole film, that they've all been through something together and they're all processing it in a different way, what happens on this day.
Yeah, I mean, through my approach and my research, so much of this is inside of what these young men need at the time, with the camaraderie and the father figures in the family that they probably don't have elsewhere, and their camaraderie. And on a film set, that's what I love about indie filmmaking. It's like you're all forced to be together in sort of like a troupe of actors at a theater, which I'm kind of, my origins are. And even down to that, I really wanted to, at one point, not meet Hiam until the final scene, but we bumped into each other in Jordan, and we immediately had coffee.
Did you like meet in the hotel?
Meet in the hotel because you have to, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're just so the proximity.
Can't
is
avoid
so
everybody
close.
for too long.
And I got to know about her family and her life and what she's been a part of and through, and it just, and I'm so happy that happened, rather than trying to have some sort of existential, heady actor approach of till the day.
Sure.
But being with them, I mean, it's the nature of it. Yeah.
And you invited all the guys out for a dinner early on. So
Yeah,
it was time.
I'm very much a part of doing anything you can to kind of to marry the circumstances as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a lot of time to prep. I think we had maybe 2 months to get ready for this, and there's just only so much time in a day to get things done. And so I think it's our job as actors is just to marry to the circumstances as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So you're doing this prep. I don't know if you have more than 2 months to prep for a firefight action sequence, basically, where you've got this family in the cars and then the soldiers up on the roofs. And I assume it's very closely based on what really happened on that day that's described in the article. And again, you're making your first feature. How do you prepare for something of that scale?
I think that maybe is the benefit of the timeline of an indie feature, which they take a long time to get made. And so I did have years to prepare. My first trip to Jordan, visiting it as a potential location for us was probably 3 years ago. And on that trip, I found most of the locations with our Jordan team there. And so then it was years of being able to imagine and prepare for the sequence of shots and the progression of shots for the early sequences and then the war bits as well. And so, yeah, they were complicated. We didn't have a lot of time or money, but I think it is all that deep, soft prep time that
Deep and soft. Okay.
that allows for the to try to reach your ambition.
Yeah. And you got a baby thrown into the mix for all of it.
And a beautiful baby, that Kareem, and he was an amazing actor.
I think everyone should remember his name.
Yeah, I
the
do
best.
too. But truly, we thought we'd add in post,
Sure.
the sounds of crying and whatnot. But he would cry as needed, unprompted, and then stop as needed.
Wow.
We were actually marveling at it. Yeah. He was acting it and living it with all of us.
Unfortunately, if you ever work with a baby again, I feel like Kareem has set way too high a bar.
That's
and
true.
it's-
Yeah, we'll bring him back.
The other babies won't be able to live up to the standard. So, sorry, were you gonna say something, Boyd? Sorry.
But he just aged out of the part.
Hollywood, man, it's tough. So we've got the opening sequence where we're seeing how these people's lives intersect, and then it's really building toward this conversation where everyone kind of gets back together again and talks about it in a way that I think a lot of people wish that they could in their lives. And I think that's a lot of what it is can you have this moment? Can you connect over this? Can you forgive somebody for what they've done? And it's a lot of really heightened emotions, but it's also realistic and restrained in some ways. And for you guys as actors, just what do you need from your director in that moment to kind of hit those emotional peaks of what you're asked to go through, and what surprises you about it when you actually do it? I'll start with you.
A lot of conversation about the real events, what happened really at that house at that time, and how they met. And it being a real story, it makes it more easier to understand. And that actually inspired me to go fix up a lot of things in my life and to forgive and to go see someone that didn't want to see me.
Wow.
And face him with that. So I'm speechless for that question. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But
no, it's fine. That's just incredible.
yeah, I think it being a real story kind of made it a bit less difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible to hear. I think Reed gave us everything that he needed to on the script, and it's our job. We had everything that we needed to go into the well and to draw from these characters. It was just the prep time, the time that you need for that to kind of absorb into the fabric of your being, and it be inside of you rather than you putting on something, putting on a jacket, it coming from the inside. And he was our captain at the helm of the ship.
It was also we shot chronologically, so it was the end of the shoot, the process of finding a character that even happens in front of the camera while we're shooting was, everyone was fully embodied in those people. And to have, I think, lived those experiences, obviously fiction, but to have lived them, gone through them, and then to arrive there, I was interested in how it was all just spilling out of everybody. We had set the cameras to rehearse that big scene where they all sit down together, and we're going to do a short rehearsal, and the emotion was so present that we just said, skip it, and we'll just roll.
Yeah.
So we just started shooting it.
I know that dinner table scenes can be famously difficult to shoot. Is it similar when you're in this house with everyone sitting in the chairs? Not the same as a firefight, but maybe also hard?
It is cramped. Yeah, it's cramped. And I think heavy in similar ways. It's very emotional to watch. I know the crew was an audience on that day.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Now thinking about it, because there is a technical part where I think before the rehearsal, it was just overflowing. We were just hard to be in each other's presence without becoming emotional. But there is also the practicality of things of, do you have to have setups here and you have to come over here and do this, and you kind of don't want to be spent by the time it comes to your coverage, and how do you negotiate that?
Yeah.
And how do you manage all that time, because you're shooting a scene for what, 8 hours of the day, or 6 hours maybe?
Yeah, I think we had half a day for that.
Yeah.
It's funny, the first time we met in the US after Jordan, I'm just gonna jump in. I'm
Oh, no,
sorry.
please. I love that.
You looked at the scar. I noticed you were staring at the scar. I never told you that, and I didn't want to have contact like about the thing. And I thought you didn't like me, but you just looked at the scar and turned around. Now I get it.
It was too much.
Very heavy.
Keeping a little bit of distance for
Yeah.
the
Respectful
Yeah.
distance. Yeah.
No, I
I'm
get it.
sorry.
It's
Yeah, you know
okay.
I love you.
It's okay. I know. I get it.
I mean, to not spoil the ending of what this is going to be, because we want people to be able to see it, but it ends quietly on this kind of really unexpected grace note. I guess this is a question from the writing perspective. When you dig so much up, when you've shown this really harrowing scene, and then when you've dug up all these emotions with everybody, how do you get out of it? How do you figure out the note that you want everyone, I don't know if everyone's going to walk out of this and reconnect with someone after this, but is that kind of the feeling you want them to leave with, that it's possible?
And maybe leave them with an open enough ending that they can carry whatever they're feeling out. I like when movies sort of widen at the end, as opposed to come to a point where it's leaving me with my own thoughts and feelings and questions, without almost just more of like a musical note that feels right, as opposed
Like a chord at the end of a song or
yeah.
something.
And that's what we were looking for and discovered in the writing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you made this film independently, as you guys have been saying. You come to Cannes, there's so many movies that are trying to get distributed or trying to get financing, and it's fascinating to watch. There's so many people who come here. You see all the passion that goes into it. Having kind of done it firsthand, how are you feeling about the process of making independent films these days? Like, does getting this made kind of give you the hope that beautiful things like this can get out there?
Yeah, I think after a short vacation, I'll have energy
6 weeks.
again.
6 weeks.
But it is. Everyone says pushing a boulder uphill takes a long time, and because of that, I think you only give that time to the things and stories that really matter.
Yeah.
And so it has a way of really focusing you and on the stuff that nourishes me, in the making of it, and certainly as an audience. But I'll be back at it soon.
And what about you guys? What are you seeing in terms of what you want to make, what you want to work on, versus what's actually getting done? How's that been for you recently?
I think it's a breath of fresh air to be here with people who obviously love cinema, and we're not making comic book movies, and we're making real films about real people with real struggles, where it's also joyous. It's a celebration of life. So to what Reed is saying is it kind of just reiterates how important what you work on and how you work on it is the important thing, because you don't want to spend all this time and it not be seen or not be into the world, because it takes so much time to prepare these characters or to prepare the filmmaking, and you want to kind of release it to the world.
Yeah. Last word?
For me, I'm a big fan of Reed van Dyke, and he inspired me a lot to go on and do my own thing as well. So I've been trying to do that. It's a little too hard in Iraq.
Yeah.
So I think I'm in the right place maybe to start doing something here in Europe. So as for me as an actress, I think from now on I have to be very careful in choosing what kind of roles I play, because this is gonna stick with me forever. It's very emotional. It's an imprint for the rest of my life. So super proud. Thank you so much.
Wow. Yeah, everybody clap for everybody, including Reed. And thank you all. Congratulations to all three of you for the film.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here to talk about it.
you for
Thank you
this.
to everybody
Thank
else
you.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.